Have you ever considered that God might be communicating with you in subtle ways you haven't yet noticed? This divine connection doesn't demand perfection, only an open mind to recognize the signs woven into your routine, your emotions, and even the workings of your own brain. Understanding this spiritual language transforms not only how you view life, but also your sense of purpose and meaning. Let's explore how this divine communication can manifest in daily life, offering renewal and growth. Imagine, for a moment, the grandeur of the human brain. This organ is so fascinating that even the most advanced scientists continue to explore its layers. It's a system that goes beyond simple connections. It reflects the complexity of God, a masterpiece that adapts and shapes itself based on our life experiences. Every challenge we face, every small victory, it absorbs, transforms, and adjusts. It's as though we have a piece of the divine within our minds, a symbol of our own capacity for redemption and renewal. Doesn't this idea inspire a deep sense of reverence for all that the brain allows us to experience? This adaptability of the brain leads us to understand how we are truly shaped by our experiences and the choices we make. Think of a situation of loss or failure. We've all been through moments like these. Instead of shutting down, the brain finds ways to help us overcome and grow stronger, as if granting us a new chance with each difficulty faced. By embracing the brain's complexity, we accept that, like it, we are endowed with resilience and faith, as if a divine trace lies in our ability to learn and grow. This is the first step toward understanding the divine communication unfolding within us. And here lies the key. The brain is not just a collection of cells, but a true labyrinth where choices reflect and words become reality. Every thought, every emotion we nurture shapes this marvelous system, creating pathways that guide us to new states of being. The more we understand this power, the clearer the signs become that lead us toward a deeper spiritual connection. If we pause to observe, we'll see that, just like the brain, our spirituality is layered and complex. Neuroplasticity is the brain's incredible ability to reshape and adapt to every new experience or learning. Imagine that with each new challenge you face or each piece of information you absorb, your brain reorganizes, creating connections that didn't exist before. This adaptation reflects divine nature itself, showing that our minds are in constant renewal, just like faith, which strengthens as we endure hardship. It's as if God programmed our brains to mirror this spiritual strength, a testament to the fact that there is always a new chance to grow. So what does this mean in practice? Think of moments when life demands change, a new skill you need to learn, or a trauma you must recover from. Neuroplasticity allows you to literally reshape your brain through consistent practice, much like exercising a muscle. Faith, too, operates in this way, molding itself through adversity, fortifying with each step of overcoming. Science and spirituality meet here in the fact that the more we practice positive thinking, the more the brain responds, forming neural pathways that lead us to mental and spiritual renewal. In this sense, neuroplasticity is more than a scientific term. It's almost a metaphor for the spiritual journey, where every challenge is an opportunity for growth. When we allow ourselves to change, we open up for new neural pathways to form, as if our own brain is tuning into a higher frequency of faith and purpose. This realization shows us that by renewing the mind, we also renew the soul, connecting more deeply with the divine. In spiritual teachings, the brain is often seen as a direct channel to the soul, a bridge between the body and divine essence. In Romans 12:2, we are guided to transform our minds so that we may experience God's will. This suggests that the brain, with all its complexity, is not just a physical organ, but also a spiritual vehicle. When we renew our thoughts, we're essentially allowing divine communication to flow more clearly. This process of renewal isn't mystical or distant. It's a practice within our reach daily in each thought we choose to nurture. Consider, for example, someone who starts a daily habit of gratitude. The act of giving thanks, even for small things, reorganizes the brain, creating room for positive emotions and a more optimistic outlook on life. This simple practice is a form of mental renewal that goes beyond the mind. It nourishes the soul, aligning it with the goodness and peace that reflect divine will. This type of connection doesn't happen overnight, but over time, it transforms our perception, showing that changes in the brain can lead to true spiritual transformation. By caring for our thoughts and feelings, we are essentially caring for our soul. This connection between the brain and soul is like an ongoing dance, where each thought carries the silent power to either bring us closer to or further from our divine essence. And by strengthening this connection, communication with God becomes more natural, as we create an internal space where the divine voice can echo with clarity and depth. The words we choose carry an almost invisible yet immensely powerful force. They can shape our brain, carving neural pathways that either strengthen or weaken our connection to the divine. Imagine the impact of telling yourself daily that you are capable of facing any challenge, that resilience already resides within you. Over time, the brain adapts to this positive message, forming connections that reinforce this idea, as if tuning in to the spiritual truth that we are made in the image of God, with all the potential to overcome. But words aren't the only factor. Emotions also play a central role. When we feed negative emotions like anger or envy, our brain absorbs these, building neural pathways that distance us from divine peace. It's like creating a spiritual blockage that makes it harder to feel and hear God's presence. On the other hand, emotions of compassion, gratitude, and love help cultivate a fertile ground for this spiritual connection to flourish. A simple exercise, like writing down 3 things you're grateful for each day, gradually realigns your brain and strengthens your spirit. So it's crucial to realize that what we say and feel doesn't just affect the world around us, but also touches the depths of our being. It's as if each word and emotion is a brick, building the bridge that connects the brain to the soul, a bridge that either brings us closer to or further from the divine. The more we care for our words and emotions, the more open the communication with God becomes, revealing that spirituality resides in the small choices we make each day. Emotions have a depth that goes beyond mere reactions to daily events. They directly impact our spirituality and the quality of our connection with God. When the heart is at peace, the mind opens, allowing divine communication to flow more naturally. This state of serenity creates an atmosphere conducive to hearing and feeling God's presence. In contrast, emotions like fear, anger, or sadness can act as a veil, obscuring this connection and creating a sense of spiritual isolation. Managing emotions, therefore, becomes an essential practice for those seeking a clearer spiritual path. For anyone wishing to strengthen this inner peace, practices like meditation and prayer are invaluable tools. By dedicating a few minutes each day to silent reflection, a person can observe their emotions without judgment, which, over time, reduces the weight of negative feelings and promotes deeper tranquility. If meditation feels challenging, mindful breathing is also helpful. Just breathe in and out slowly, letting the body and mind relax. This simple gesture is like opening a window to peace, a way to release the emotional blocks that hinder divine connection. Thus, by working on our emotions, we're actually creating an internal environment that supports spiritual communication. Emotions like love, gratitude, and compassion are like soft melodies that bring us closer to the divine, while heavier feelings like resentment and envy make this alignment harder. When we choose to nurture positive emotions, we strengthen a direct channel with God, opening a space for Him to guide and inspire us at every step of the journey. The law of cause and effect reminds us that each thought and action leaves marks on our brain, carving new neural pathways that shape our lives and spirituality. Imagine that every choice we make, from a positive thought to an act of kindness, is a seed planted. Over time, these seeds create roots in the brain, reinforcing behaviors and feelings aligned with the divine. It's a universal law. What we put into the world returns to us, whether as inner peace or challenges that call for greater resilience. By applying this law, we begin to see our actions and thoughts as pieces in a game where every move counts. Think of someone who cultivates the habit of helping others. This act of generosity, repeated consistently, shapes both brain and soul, generating feelings of joy and fulfillment. Similarly, an act of compassion initiates a positive cycle, where the good you do strengthens your own spiritual connection and creates space to receive what the universe and God have to offer in return. It's a practice of intentional sowing, knowing that what we plant now will be tomorrow's harvest. With this understanding, every moment becomes an opportunity to make choices that elevate both mind and soul. Even in the face of challenges, we can view each difficulty as a chance to plant new seeds of resilience and personal growth. This perspective turns into a continuous process of learning and spiritual alignment, where each action and thought has the power to bring us closer to or further from our divine purpose. Free will is a powerful gift, offering us the freedom to shape both our lives and our spirituality. Every decision we make is an expression of this power, and, at the same time, a responsibility that draws us closer to or further from the divine purpose. Imagine your choices as brushstrokes on a canvas, each contributing to the final image of your spiritual journey. Choosing to cultivate positive thoughts, for example, not only transforms the brain, but also reflects an alignment with God's will, showing that we are moving toward a life of peace and purpose. In daily life, the exercise of free will is reflected in simple actions like forgiving those who've hurt us or choosing words of love instead of criticism. These small decisions reinforce neural pathways of compassion and understanding, transforming how we interact with the world. By making choices that promote kindness and resilience, we allow the brain to shape itself according to these values, creating an internal environment where the divine connection can flourish. It's a continuous practice of adjustment, where each new decision offers an opportunity to align more deeply with spirituality. Thus, free will is not just about making choices. It's about understanding that each choice, however small, has the power to shape our spiritual path. This awareness brings a sense of responsibility and, at the same time, enormous freedom, as it reminds us that we can always redefine the direction of our lives. Each act of kindness, each moment of faith, strengthens this spiritual bond, opening the way for divine blessings to manifest along our journey. Just as the brain can create new cells through neurogenesis, our soul holds an infinite potential for spiritual renewal and growth. This process is continuous and doesn't rely on external circumstances. It's activated through the choices we make daily and our desire to grow. When we nourish our minds with elevated ideas and seek to deepen our connection with the divine, we give both our brain and spirit a chance to expand. With every new learning experience, both our brain and soul become more receptive to the blessings of life, creating a cycle of constant renewal. Practices like meditation, reading inspirational texts, or seeking spiritual knowledge can ignite this transformation. Imagine the impact of reading a book on spirituality or participating in a spiritual retreat. These experiences not only uplift the spirit, but literally change the brain's structure, reinforcing neural pathways that favor peace and harmony. Our growth, then, is not limited. It expands with each new choice, demonstrating that we are always in a process of development, both in mind and soul. This potential for spiritual growth is like a seed planted in fertile soil, waiting to bloom. When we dedicate ourselves to practices that promote this expansion, we allow our connection with God to deepen and our life purpose to become clearer. Neurogenesis and spiritual growth go hand in hand, affirming that the human being is a project in constant construction, always ready to reach new levels of awareness and understanding. Resilience is like a spiritual and mental muscle that strengthens each time we face and overcome challenges. Just as the brain adapts when exposed to new experiences, our faith also grows and renews itself during difficult times. When life presents obstacles, it's as if we're given a unique opportunity to develop this inner strength that connects us to something greater. This process is not easy, but with each triumph, the brain creates new neural pathways, helping us view the world with wiser eyes and a more mature soul. The practice of resilience can be seen in simple actions, like staying calm in a conflict or finding hope amid loss. Every time we choose to react with serenity and courage, we reinforce this inner capacity, transforming both our brain and our spiritual connection. Think of moments of prayer or meditation as anchors in life's storms. They offer us stability and clarity, strengthening our faith while training the brain to respond to challenges with balance and wisdom. This resilience is what allows us to keep moving forward, even when the path seems uncertain or painful. Every challenge overcome is a lesson learned, another step in building a deep spirituality and a mind more prepared for the unexpected. By practicing resilience, we are actually refining our soul and strengthening our communication with the divine, preparing ourselves to receive the signs and lessons that life still has to offer with greater clarity. Now that you understand the signs and how God communicates with you, it's time to apply this knowledge in your life. Have you thought about how every thought and choice can strengthen this divine connection? What actions can you take today to renew your mind and deepen this communication? Embrace each small moment as an opportunity to draw closer to the purpose God has for you, nurturing both your spirituality and personal growth. Remember, every step you take on this path opens new possibilities for transformation. So why not continue this journey? Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications for more content like this. And together, we'll explore even more of the mysteries of this divine connection.